I remember it was a Tuesday afternoon in my junior year. Class got out and I was in the gym setting up the nets with my best friend Shay. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining through the windows in the back of the gym while girls from our team filtered through the door and into the locker room to change into their jerseys. Shay and I were passing the ball back and forth with an occasional set for a spike. Eventually, everyone showed up and we started our routine warm-ups. We passed to each other, set each other up for perfect spikes. We exchanged balls after we served. It was getting close to the time for the other team to show up, so we kicked it into high gear and got into our hitting lines. I set her on each side of the net with 3 lines: 15, 32, 54, red, white, blue, left, middle, right. Whatever you called them, they were the same. I had just hit from 32 and ran under the net. The ball had rolled back over to the other side, so I turned around to get it. I never expected it. No one did. The bright light from the sun behind me and the fluorescent lights above me disappeared to nothing. I couldn't hear anything. A few seconds later, my vision was returning and I realized I didn't hear anything because everyone had stopped and was staring at me. I turned to Shay, who had a horrified look on her face. "Are you okay?" I was about to nod and say that I was fine, but I felt something hot slowly falling from my nose. I shook my head as I covered my face with my hand and ran full speed past my teammates to the nurse's office a couple of doors down. The blood wouldn't stop, and I was appalled to see the lights off and the door locked. I quickly turned on my heels and head to the nearest bathroom. Shay and a few other teammates rushed after me to help me stop the bleeding. The white sink turned red, and the yellow tiled floor was decorated with my DNA. One girl offered to call my parents for me, in which I nodded, causing the clot to come loose and more blood to gush out. About 10 minutes later, we finally get the bleeding to stop. My face and hands were covered in a rusty red from what already dried. I looked like I got into the most epic fight. My nose was starting to swell, and there were dark circles slowly forming around my eyes. I laughed at the sight as Shay helped me clean up. Who knew that it would be a fight of epic proportions? I still played in the game that night, but something was wrong. I couldn't serve. I couldn't make a correct pass. The world was a little tilted and the lights were too bright. The next 3 days, I stayed in bed with a hood over my head, blocking out any light that there was. We couldn't figure out what was wrong. I tried going to school, only to come home early each time with tears in my eyes from the splitting migraines. A week later, we go to the neurologist to possibly diagnose me. Major concussion. Those words will haunt me for the rest of my life. This was my second concussion, but the first was only mild, lasting me 2 weeks. The doctor said that this should only last a few months, but I shouldn't go to school. Those months passed only to have me tested by the school psychologist and a neuropsychologist. Working memory problems. Possible permanent brain damage. The neuropsychologist assured us that it would only be a few more months and I should be out of the woods. Change months to years, and I'm still not completely out of the woods. I've grown to work around these issues, but part of me will always be spiteful that there are years of my life that I will never get back. Experiences that I will never be able to truly experience. Memories that I will never be able to reflect upon simply because I can't remember them.